2023 marked a new low in my sea kayaking activities. I only managed to get out 5 times in 12 months. This is due to a variety of reasons. One of them is that I've reignited a passion of mine for hill walking, and this led to me booking a trip to Bulgaria to hike some of the highest mountains in the Balkans. It was an absolutely incredible trip and I loved every minute of it. Part of the preparation for that trip involved me spending a lot of free time getting back out on the hills in the UK. So often I was in the Lake District or in the Cheviot Hills in Northumberland, spending time wild camping and just hiking the fells. I've also got 2 little boys and they're absolutely incredible, but they do take up a lot of my time and energy. All of this meant that I had very little time or opportunity to get out sea kayaking in 2023. However, in September, everything just aligned. There was nothing in the calendar, I had some free time, the weather was calm and settled, so I took the opportunity to take the boat down to Blyth and get some much needed time out on the sea. Blyth is an industrial town in Northumberland of about 40,000 people. Historically speaking, it was at the centre of the coal mining trade, with about 6 million tonnes of coal being exported annually. It was also home to a large shipbuilding operation and still has a bustling port to this day. Blyth is not just an industrial powerhouse. It's located on a beautiful stretch of coastline just 4 miles north of St Mary's Lighthouse in Whitley Bay. It's becoming increasingly popular for surfers, swimmers, paddleboarders, photographers, all sorts of leisure activities. For this paddle, the plan was just to do a quick out and back from the north end of Blyth Beach down to St Mary's Lighthouse and back again, about 8 miles in total. As I pulled up in the car park, I was quite excited because I could see a pod of dolphins breaching out at sea about 500 metres, maybe a kilometre offshore, and they were moving from north to south, which was going to be the direction I was paddling. So I was quite hopeful that maybe I would bump into them later on. In fact, as I got on the water, I could still see them off in the distance, but they were quite a way off. But you know, I've just paddled on and was quite hopeful that I would see them again later. St Mary's Island is a tidal island, cut off from Curry's Point at the headland. It's accessible at low tide by a causeway. The naming of Curry's Point is pretty grim. It's named after Michael Curry, who was executed in 1739 for the murder of a pub landlord in Hartley. Custom at the time was that bodies could be hung in chains or in a gibbet within sight of the scene of their crime. So they chose Curry's Point to hang his body in chains within sight of the pub where the crime had taken place. Ever since that gruesome event, this headland has been known as Curry's Point. During medieval times, the island was known as Bates Island, and it had a small chapel dedicated to St Helen, and they used to use an oil-burning lamp to warn ships that were passing of the rocks. Due to a large number of shipwrecks in the 19th century, Trinity House commissioned the building of St Mary's Lighthouse, which was built between 1896 and 1898. It was decommissioned in 1984, and is now a visitor centre and museum. The lighthouse is an iconic landmark and gained Grade 2 listed status in 2012, although it could definitely do with a bit of a paint job these days. The island is home to a large number of seabirds and a colony of grey seals. Large parts of the island are closed off from the public now to allow the grey seals to haul out, but you can still get a good view of them from the viewing platform at St Mary's. I was in two minds when I reached St Mary's Lighthouse. Do I carry on south in the hope of bumping into the dolphins I'd seen earlier that day, or do I stick to the original plan and turn around and head back north towards Blythe? Spent a few minutes listening to the seal colony off in the distance while I made my mind up, and eventually I decided to turn around. About 5 minutes after setting back off, I saw about 200 metres ahead of me the unmistakable breach of a bottlenose dolphin. A small pod of about 5 dolphins slowly approached and actually swam underneath my boat. We spent the next 5 minutes just kind of circling each other. They seemed pretty happy to be in my company, they weren't in a hurry to get anywhere, and they came quite close to the boat on a few occasions. It's always a real privilege to see dolphins, especially out on the water with them, and especially when they come so close. It was made all the more special by it being, a rare opportunity for me to get on the water. Just everything seemed to line up. It was almost like it was a special sort of welcome back from the dolphins. It was quite amazing.
Absolutely magic.
The dolphins carried on south and I headed back off to the north to my put-in. As I was approaching my put-in spot, I noticed even more dolphins, another 3 off the piers at Blythe. One of these came in quite close, not to me, but to the beach. So it was only about, I would say, 20-30 metres off the beach at one point, giving the public quite a display. In 2024, I'm definitely going to make more of an effort to get back out on the sea, especially if I can get more amazing experiences like this one. I've definitely gotten a bit rusty with some of my skills, and I'll need to work on that and brush up on them just to stay safe and make sure that I know what I'm doing when I'm out there. All in all though, this one was a great paddle. About 8 miles, which is not too bad for first time on the water in a while, and to get dolphins is just unbelievable, absolutely amazing. And great conditions, beautiful sunrise, couldn't really ask for more.